Looks like we're going. Hello. Welcome again to another one of these. Welcome to 2021. It's the first time I have been around here, been around these parts since last year. Not much has changed. Been a couple days. It was nice taking a couple days off from this. Thank you for dealing with that. Me not being around, though I'm sure oodles of people are tuning in to listen to me ramble about nothing. In case anybody has, thanks for stopping by, and hopefully we've got some ramblings that will be fun to listen to over the course of this year. So yeah, what to talk about today? I was kind of thinking between two things. I'll remember to come back to one of them. I kind of want to talk about a game I played. Just finished yesterday, Ikenfell. But maybe I'll wait until Friday to talk about that. Just to keep that in line with. I usually talk about games on Fridays, apparently. That was a pretty cool game. I enjoyed the story a lot. But I do have some things that I'd like to maybe talk about with that one. But yeah, in case you don't know. So I'm kind of into games, in case you hadn't noticed. In case you didn't know, in the games-related topic, yesterday started Awesome Games Done Quick 2021. All digital events again for this season. Last time I think they were all in a live venue would have been in was it? I think it was in January of 2020. Yeah, so it's been a while. They did a summer rendition as they do, which was all digital as well. It lends itself okay to that. It kind of stinks not seeing. I've never been to one in person. I'd love to go, but just haven't gotten around to it. For those who don't know, what Awesome Games Done Quick is AGDQ, and the summer one SGDQ, Summer Games Done Quick. It's a charity live stream where the speedrunning community, video game speedrunning community, gets together to raise money in the winter event, AGDQ. The charity that's, I think it's always been this way for these two, so it could change, but they've generally done for AGDQ Prevent Cancer Foundation, and for SGDQ Doctors Without Borders, Médecins Sans Frontières, for French speaking people. If you hear people calling it MSF, that's where that's coming from. The French name for the charity. Doctors Without Borders is the English translation. Excuse me. But these events are essentially what got me into speedrunning. So I kind of want to talk a little bit about that today. Just a little bit about the event and a little bit of kind of just kind of hyping it up a bit. Maybe see kind of what's there and see what kind of things you might be interested in checking out. But I forget which Games Done Quick event I first tuned into. I think it was a friend of mine who said, hey, you should go check this out, it's pretty neat. And that would have been in 2013. It was a couple years old, and it was still I remember when I was watching it, I don't know what's wrong with my throat, it keeps getting stuff junked in it or something, I don't know. I remember there still being a couch in a basement type looking area. It was maybe the second or third one that I watched where they were actually in a hotel venue for just hosting hundreds of people, and now probably thousands over the course of the event, and probably tens of thousands and more people who were tuning in to the live stream, which is pretty neat. They've done a great job of taking that medium and still conveying all of that energy that happens at one of these events over the live stream. So it's kind of interesting seeing it in this all digital like space. Like this is where the runners are used to being. They're used to doing like just streaming on their Twitch channel, talking with people over just the microphone. They're not really interacting with somebody in real time. Like sometimes they might, but usually it's not. So this is like what they're used to, and it's a pretty chill vibe that you get from it. It's just sort of hanging out with them while they speedrun. But it's definitely different, not just kind of different from that. Like you're on a stage playing for a live audience of people. In many ways, it just reminds me so much of just like musical performance. You have worked on something to as close to perfection as you can, and you're putting on a performance. You're not just playing a game. You're playing a game in a very specific way, and the way that you are playing it says something about you. Like how I play a song might be a song that other people have played, but the way that I have played it is pretty unique to me, unless I am purposefully trying to emulate somebody else's version of a song. And in many ways, speedrunning is much the same way. You're all following a very similar roadmap or set of notes to get to where you need to be as fast as you can, but how each individual does it, there's so many subtle things, which is so weird. Like the analogies don't really kind of stop there. Even when you're practicing, like when you're new to music, it's like everything just seems, it's like, okay, yeah, it's all just classical piano music. It doesn't matter what you're playing there. And it's just like, okay, it's all just, speedrunning like platformers. It's like they're all the same there. And then you start getting into each thing and each game, and then the specific strategies for each type of run or category. And there's just so much nuance every time that you fold back some of that complexity. It's pretty neat. Speedrunning is just kind of neat in general. I think I've talked about on one of these videos, just I think probably twice, where I had like maybe 3 times at this point. I don't know, drawing a blank. That there were 3 games that I probably considered myself having like attempted speedruns at some point in. The first one being Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. That was before I knew speedrunning was a thing. It was just, I knew how to get to Bald Bull. I didn't like playing after that point, so I just get there as fast as I can, then turn it off. And I learned so many little nuances about that game, which is so interesting hearing these runners that are playing it today, like finding and talking about all of these things that I had found when I was a kid. And it's just like being there while you're figuring all this stuff out might have been like really super cool. The other games that I had run are Super Mario Sunshine, which is again before I knew that there was such a thing as a speedrunning community. I would just come home from school, load in Super Mario Sunshine in the GameCube, and just do a run, just play through it before I even knew what a run was. And just because I enjoyed getting through that game as fast as possible. And then the first one that I had played after seeing a Games Done Quick event was Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage on the Spyro Reignited trilogy, any percent on PS4. And I still have some attempts on this YouTube channel. So if you are interested in seeing that, I think one of them is still tied for 3rd place on PS4. It's been a little bit since I checked, so that might be outdated. But it's like really fun. Just it is like a weird kind of fun. I wasn't sure if I'd want to do it. It was actually a book that I picked up. I forget what it's called. Speedrunning Science, something like that. Written by one of the runners in the community. Just talking about the mentality of speedrunning and kind of things that you can do to get yourself like set up for success and do all the things that you should be doing to have as good of a time as you can with it, and just trying it, see if you enjoy that kind of thing. And if not, it's not for everybody, but if you do, like, there are ways that you can like frame something to always be improving and bettering yourself. So after reading that book, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna try this. So I went ahead and was just like, what's a game that I really enjoy? Because that's always what they recommend. What other runners recommend is, for your first game, like, don't choose something that like is highly competitive that you'll be discouraged unless you like thrive in that kind of environment. Like highly competitive and you are at a severe disadvantage just from a knowledge perspective. Like you might have all the skills in the world in a game, but like if you don't know how to execute the tricks and stuff, you're not playing the game in any conventional way when you're speedrunning. You're playing it at the, well, one, a highest skill level that you can, and two, in a way that's just highly repetitious. That's one of the things that like that book did prepare me for. It's just how many times you're not going to succeed. You can play at the highest level and still be resetting constantly. You always want that best run, and you get to a point where you're so good you know that that anything better is unattainable. So you just restart, unless you want more practice with later stuff. Like it's always good to get practice with like a full run. Like since I was running Spyro on a console, I couldn't just say, well, I'm gonna like I wasn't running on an emulator or something, that I couldn't very easily just go to a spot and try it. It was, okay, I need to get to that point or have a save file where I can just go to anywhere and try anything. But the kind of tough part about Spyro is that the route means that you have to collect like gems to purchase some things that you need in the run. So in order to practice your gem routing, you kind of need to be able to start that level over when the gems are there so you can practice picking them up. But it's like you get to a point where it's just like, okay, yep, I messed this up twice. There's no way I'm making up 20 seconds somewhere later in the run. Even if everything goes great, I'm not making up 20 seconds. So you're just like, okay, it's such a weird sentence. Like when I hear people saying it's like you save 5 seconds or you save 10 seconds or you save 30 seconds. That sounds like nothing. Like the amount of time that I've spent playing that game, that amounts to nothing. But that's like precious time when you're trying to get through a game as fast as possible. And I can't tell you how many times I was super thrilled to see splits that were better than my last attempt by less than a second. It's like, that's progress, especially for like the early game stuff, because those are the strategies, the things that you're running the most. When you start a new game, you're going to be doing those beginning game strats a lot. So you just get those really well. There's going to be some of the most practiced stuff that you're doing. So in my case, like getting through Glimmer that's the first level in Spyro 2. It's just like super cool to be like, oh my goodness, I got sub 15. Oh my goodness, I got sub 14. Or I've improved this by 0.2 seconds, and that's a gold split. And it's like, that feels good. Gold split meaning the best split that you've done. Split being a segment of time that you're playing. so much lingo that you end up picking up while you're kind of playing through this stuff. Anyway, it's like I'm just kind of rambling about kind of the joy that I had while running these games, and all of that like just stemmed from watching other people like seem to have a really good time while playing a game. It doesn't even have to be like the most amazing game ever. Like I just like one of the runs that just happened today a little earlier was Sonic 06, one of the most notoriously bad games ever released. But because the game is so broken, it makes for a really interesting speedrunning game. Like there are so many ways that you can break it, and a lot of like the things that you can do in that game would be terribly difficult, like unreasonably difficult to do in like any other game. It's just like your collision is really bad, so you can just pause and walk through walls. And it's pretty easy to do in the game just because it's that, I don't want to say poorly put together, very rushed. The game was very, very, very rushed. But like you start seeing games through other lenses. It's just like you see a bad game, or you see like a game that's like put together pretty poorly and there's got lots of holes and bugs. But when you look at that, you see it from like oh, I'm a consumer wanting a fully polished game. I don't really like that. But through a speedrunner's eyes, it's like, I can see this game like tries to be fun, and I like some of the mechanics there. And I think the bugs could really exploit those mechanics that I really like. That you start looking at games that you might not have traditionally thought were fantastic, but through the right lens could still be a lot of fun. So yeah, like if that kind of thing has ever like interested you, or if how I'm talking right now like makes you really want to give it a shot, I highly suggest you go check out AGDQ 2021. I'll put a link in the description so you can go check that out. The schedule is out there too. It's generally pretty close to correct. When things run short or long, that changes the schedule a little bit. It runs for like 6 to 7 days. Usually ends on Sunday. Usually goes a little bit into Sunday. But there have been some really good runs so far. I'll just take a look at a few of these here. And I enjoyed Dragon Age Origins. Like, I loved that game, playing it like as it should. And even when I was watching this game be broken in front of my eyes, I was like, man, I should go play that game. Even just casually, I enjoyed that game. Diddy Kong Racing was fun. It's a long one. I forget just how much stuff there is to do in Diddy Kong Racing. That was 100% run in an hour and 47 minutes. So if you want to see like that game, a lot of people have like major nostalgia for Diddy Kong Racing. Go give that one a try. Metroid Zero Mission was pretty good. That was a low percent, 9% completion, meaning that Metroid like tracks like how much of the game that you've completed, and they're not allowed to go over 9% completion from an item collection standpoint. So you can't get upgrades, and you can't expand your missile capacity or energy tanks, things like that. You get the bare minimum that you need to beat the game, basically. So that was pretty neat. Let's see, other ones that have been interesting. Echo the Dolphin is one that I played on the Genesis. I was super confused by that game, so watching somebody just destroy it is just like, oh, finally. Like, that game just confused the heck out of me when I was a kid. Sonic Block was pretty good. I'll have to check that out. They ran Sonic 1, the mobile remake for that, which was pretty neat looking. Sonic 3, Angel Island Revisited, Sonic Mania, which I really want to check out, and the aforementioned Sonic 06. That was done in about 50 minutes, I think. That was really good. Always enjoy watching that game be played. I remember playing it and be like, I really wish this game was good. I was like a Sonic fanboy when I was younger. So I'm like, I really wish Sonic 06 was good. But it was like, okay, and I couldn't deal with the jank. And it's like, this is just a way that like somebody who really wanted that game to be good can take a look at it in a new way and be like, I still enjoy doing it in this way, at least. That was pretty good. And that's kind of where we're at now. I think they're still on Darksiders. Might have just wrapped that up. But yeah, lots of good stuff here. I think Skyrim's going to be up. Diablo 3 later tonight. I'm looking through the schedule, by the way. That's why I'm looking over to this other side. Let's see here. Other games that I'm familiar with. Strider, Aladdin, Metroid, Mega Man Block, Tony Hawk Block. I don't know why they... Oh, okay. For some reason I thought I said Metroid Block, but I said Mega Man Block. They got Metroid Prime 100%. That should be pretty neat. Shovel Knight, Spectre of Torment. Shovel Knight was good. Hopefully they meet the incentive for the second bonus game, which is Hades. Freaking love that game. Sad I didn't get Game of the Year for Steam, the Steam Awards, but it did in my heart. What else we got? I'm curious just what the heck Michael Jordan Chaos in the Windy City is. I guess that came out for the Super Nintendo. Spyro Reignited Trilogy. As I mentioned before, I played the second game in their the runner here, Zik3, who's really active. Holds a lot of records for all the categories, basically. He's just sort of a all around category runner for the Spyro games on the Reignited trilogy. He's really good. He's really good at commentary while he's playing too. So go check that out. It'll be a really good time. That's When is that? Wednesday. Wednesday at 12:53 currently. So that give or take a few minutes there. Crash Bandicoot, Ratchet and Clank, Skyward Sword. That would be pretty neat. They're playing Zelda Wand of Gamelon for some reason. That's the "Excuse Me, Princess" game. So you can check that out if you want to see memes. It's hard to go through like a lot of the early morning stuff. It is definitely tailored to like the United States timetable. A lot of the games being played overnight are or like from like 1 in the morning to like 6 in the morning are like shorter runs or more obscure things. Pokemon Platinum should be pretty good. Halo 3 ODST should be okay. Time Splitters 2 was really good. Being a little boring while I'm scrolling here. Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. That game is amazing. I think I got it by accident one year for Game Boy, and I was just like, I'm so glad I got this. It was a really good game. A couple Wario Lands on the table here. Those are going to be good. Wario Land was good games. Super Mario Sunshine, always a pleasure to watch. There's so much good movement there. Super Mario 64 is also right before that. That's an incentive, though, that has to be met first. Weirdly, Scooby-Doo, Night of 100 Frights. I remember playing that. It was actually an okay game, but I think I might just like remembering it because I played it with my goddaughters. Let's see here. Celeste. That one should be interesting because it's a weird thing. Not only are runners like, let's go through it fast, let's also go through it fast, but with really weird things like they're gonna play that with dance pads, like DDR dance pads. That should be kind of fun. Bit of Castlevania, Bloodstained, Super Meat Boy, A Link to the Past, all dungeons. That should be pretty good. No randomizer or bingo, or randomizer bingo this time. I really like those. They do a good job with those. There's like a Pokemon Blue run, catch them all. So you got to catch all the Pokemon in that game. That should be pretty neat. Anywho, I just sort of scrolled through a thing and probably just wasted like 5 minutes. This is already long. So speedrunning's great. The community is amazing. When I was playing, like, I just had to go onto the Discord and ask some questions, and I'd be able to talk with people for like just a few minutes about anything that I had wanted to do. And if anybody wanted to show anything, it's just like, hey, stop by a stream and we'll showcase something or show you something to do. Like, and like, it always feels like when I hear that for these marathons, like, join the community, we're always looking for new people or hoping new people stop by. Everyone's really friendly. I'm always skeptical of that, but like, at least my experience with the Spyro community, everyone's pretty welcoming and they just want you to do good. They want somebody to get a new record so that everybody else can just push themselves to do that too. So anyway, in many ways, it's a really good community. So highly implore you, go check out AGDQ. I'll put a link in the description. If you like any of the games that you see there, or you like the sound of some of the people who are playing it and the people who are commentating on the stuff that's being played, maybe go check it out. Give it a shot. You don't know if you like it till you try. I didn't know. Then I tried it and I ended up liking it. It's just a lot of time. You're spending a lot of time playing games, the same game, for a long time. I spent a decent chunk of summer, probably over a month, where like the only game I was playing was Spyro 2. So it's a bit of dedication, but there's a lot of good feels you can get from spending some time doing something, getting really good at it, and being proud of the outcome. So I'll leave it at that. Like I said, can't stress enough, go check out AGDQ. I've been running all week. I might bring it up a couple more times over the course of this week just because it's super cool and worth the time, and just plug it whenever I get the chance. Yeah, I think that's about it for today. We'll be back tomorrow on one of these, talking about whatever. And yeah, we'll catch you then. See ya.